Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So it's been about 24 hours since I've been using the Samsung Galaxy A23, and I just want to give you my 24-hour impressions after using this device for about 24 hours. Kind of talk about the build quality of this thing, the battery life. Also, I want to talk about the performance, cameras, and all the things that come under the sun when we're dealing with a smartphone. And obviously I've been using the A13, and I did notice some differences between these things, so I kind of wanted to share those differences with you guys and kind of show you guys what you're going to be expecting with the A23, because you might think it's a huge improvement from the A13, but in some situations that's actually not the case. So I kind of want to share my thoughts with you and let you guys know what I thought was really impressive about the A23, but also some of the things that I still like about my A13 over the A23. So without any more further waiting and talking, let's just jump into the video. But if you're brand new to the channel, I truly appreciate you for coming through. If you're brand new to the crew, make sure you subscribe and get notified. If it's your first time, I encourage you to hit the notification button so you can make sure you get notified for more videos just like this. But if you're already a part of the crew, salute. So let's just start off with the overall design of the A23. What I really like is it has that portion on the back camera with the design where it kind of pokes out, kind of protecting the camera lenses from any smudges or dirt. It's less likely that you're gonna get dirt on the camera lenses compared to the A13, because it doesn't have, like, they have a similar setup, but it just seems like that portion that sticks out is a little easier to avoid smudges, because you're going to be touching that versus the actual camera lenses. Now you can still touch the camera lenses, so I'm not saying you can't touch them, but it makes it a little harder to touch the camera lenses on that device. So if you wanted to avoid fingerprints on there, I kind of like the fact that it does stick out just a little bit. So it has a similar design to some of the other higher end flagships that we've seen, like the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. It kind of mimics the same design or whatever, but it's still got the plastic build quality. It's got Gorilla Glass on the front. Now I'm not going to jump too much into specs, but I just kind of want to cover the design first. And you do get a headphone jack as well, Dolby audio with the headphones, and Bluetooth. You do get a really nice design side mounted fingerprint sensor, which seems to work pretty much every single time. So if I hit the side mounted fingerprint sensor on this device, it's pretty responsive for the most part. We also do get facial recognition on this device as well, so hit it with a different finger and waiting for it to unlock, and it says it doesn't match. So it's kind of hit or miss. Maybe it's because I got a hat on or something like that. But let's try that one more time. And it says it doesn't match, so I'm not sure what's going on. Sometimes the facial recognition can be a little bit iffy, but just re-register your face or whatever, and you will get a better read when it comes to the face detection on here. Now, the other thing I noticed is from the cameras on these guys, I'm going to still touch on the build quality, but I just don't want to forget this part, because one thing I noticed is that the A23 did have night mode, slow motion mode, and food mode, whereas the younger brother, the A13, doesn't have any of those three features, but they do share similar macro cameras and the same main camera and you know, stuff like that. So let me just put this on D&D, do not disturb, because those Samsung notifications go off quite a bit. Even if you have already received the notifications, they tend to come in frequently, so that sound will happen if you don't put it on silent. So the other thing I like is about this thing is it does have a nice glass on here. It's got 400 pixels per inch, a nice beautiful 1080 panel, which is extremely sharp to look at even in outdoor situations. We have a huge 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and I was able to last through the whole day with about 40% left on a single charge. 90 hertz refresh rate is what we're getting on this guy compared to the A13, so I just like that part about it, because you're getting a high refresh rate when it comes to the display and stuff like that. So it's gonna shine when it comes to the display and scroll scrolling through social media, you're gonna notice that it's gonna be a really good experience when you're looking through social media and stuff like that, and just kind of scrolling through the interface. It's gonna be a lot more pleasurable because you notice the smoother animations when you're scrolling on the device and stuff like that. So I definitely like the fact that it has that. It looks really good. It's like it's very smooth. It's got also bigger storage option with, well, the A13 you can get at a 64 gigabyte, but I have the 32 storage option on here, whereas this one has the 64. But they both do have that RAM Plus, which allows you to increase the memory of the device, giving you the ability to allocate more apps at the exact same time in the background. So it'll basically make the phone run quicker and use some of the internal storage as the memory. So it does have that feature as well. It does have an IPS TFT LC display, which gets plenty bright, and you're going to notice that in most situations outdoors with the 1080-2408 display, it's going to be just like the A13 displays. It shares the exact same display with the V-drop notch as well, similar form factor in the hand and everything like that. We got a 6.6 inch body on this thing, and when it comes to like the overall feel and the weight in the hand, it's not going to be too heavy, so you won't notice anything crazy. It's about 195 grams of weight, which is similar to like the Note 10 or any other device that you've seen in the smartphone game from Samsung. So they managed to keep the weight down. It's not too heavy, it's not too light, but it still feels pretty sturdy in the hand. It's not completely squared off edges. It's got like a kind of a squared off edge, but then they kind of round off even on the edges, and on the sides it'll round off. So it does have a really good form factor in the hand when you're holding it, so it feels really sturdy. And I haven't used the case on this one or on the A13, but the other thing is that this thing will attract a fingerprints very easily. So I just want to throw that out there, that it will attract fingerprints and oils on the back of this material. So it will get pretty greasy, it will get oily, it will get pretty dirty pretty quick. So you always want to keep your microfiber cloth not too far away from you, and or maybe keep a case on there. So one thing I want to talk about is the lenses on the back of this camera, because it's got that night mode. It's got the 6nm processing chip, which is the Snapdragon 680, which I'm going to get into in just a second. But first I want to talk about the cameras, and it's clocked in at 2.4 gigahertz frequency. So you're going to get the 50 megapixel main camera, which is going to be great for taking shots in pretty much any scenario, because we do get night mode on here, and in the low light situations the camera did seem to shine. Based on any situation I threw at it, it always seemed to make the background, foreground, and some highlighted areas that were kind of dark. It'll highlight areas that will have shadows and darks. It'll make those stand out way more than the A13 can when it comes to the cameras, right? But we do get portrait mode for bokeh, which was really good when you're taking portrait shots of people, pets, animals, and things that like maybe your children. And it does have a front-facing 8 megapixel as well, which is really good. So the charging speed is also really impressive with this device. It's got 25 watts fast charging. It does have Android 12 right out of the box, which seems to run extremely fast and fluent with the One UI 4.1 Android 12. So I do like the software, I do like the hardware, but you know what I'm saying, the cameras, it does not give you the ability to record. Like let's say you're using the video camera on here, you're only going to get up to 1080 30 frames per second and HD 30 frames per second. So I was impressed with the video quality, but one of the things that I did notice about the video quality is that you won't get stabilization unless you're using a gimbal or a tripod in your hand to make it a little bit more sturdy when you're using the phone. So I just want to mention that as well. So I really enjoyed using the cameras on here. After 24 hours, they were able to take some really good shots. Even the macro cameras, which are like, you know, like a 2 megapixel camera, I was really surprised how well the detail was able to come out on that thing. 4 gigabytes of RAM on this guy. So like I said, you can allocate more memory on here. Now, gaming performance, this is where we see a difference, okay? Because the A13 will be better with the Exynos 850. It's got extreme graphics when it comes to playing PUBG Mobile with the A13. However, with the A23, we're only getting high graphic quality, and you're going to notice that the Snapdragon, 680 5G or whatever that they're using isn't going to be as good as the Exynos 850, because I wasn't as able to get as many kills as I wanted to. I also was dying a lot more frequently than I was when I was gaming on the A13. So I kind of like the A13 when it comes to just like using it as a gaming phone. So if you're the type of person who's gonna be gaming a lot on your phone and you actually want to save a little bit more battery with the 60 hertz panel on the A13, then I would definitely recommend that you would stick with the A13. But if you want some better camera modes like night mode, slow motion, and also the food mode for your camera, you're gonna get that with the A23. It's gonna have that packed right in. It's also got some pretty good specs on here. I believe they do have some features like the A13 has NFC. This one also does have NFC on board, which is really good. And you're gonna get so many different features on here, but first impressions are really good so far with this device. I'm really impressed with the camera quality as far as the pictures, and some of the video even came out good. But let me know what you guys think down below. But I definitely think this device does stand out when it comes to the cameras, and for the price you're going to be I like the fact that it's going to get updated for many years to come, so you can use this device for plenty of time in the future, and even A13 as well. So that's why I like the Samsung Galaxy A series, is because those devices are supported for a very long time. But without making this video too long, I just wanted to wrap it up and give you my final thoughts after 24 hours. But if you're still here, just let me know in the comment section that you're still here, so I know you're still rocking with me. But this device will stand out when it comes to the cameras. It will also stand out when it comes to the battery life and the scrolling speeds. It's got a really nice scrolling speed to it, and even the build up here is really nice. The sound quality is pretty decent with the single firing speaker. Fingerprint is pretty fast. Like I said, the facial recognition, it's not, I have to redo my face, I guess, because it's saying that it's failing every single time. So that's just something that you might want to note. But as far as like the way the apps move on this device, it's going to be a noticeable difference on the A13 than this one. It's going to be much quicker on this one. But just keep in mind, when it comes to the gaming performance on both of these devices, I would definitely choose the A13 when it comes to that. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I'm going to rescan my face on here so I can actually get a better face read with my hat and stuff like that. So you can see I got it. I'm scanning my face, 30%. It says 30% scanned. It kind of stopped at 30%. Let me turn it back this way, so maybe 60%. Okay, now it's reading my face. Take off your glasses, it's saying. And I just want to get a better read on my face, and let's hit continue. So now it's recognizing me with the hat. It didn't know that I had a hat on, so that's probably why I was having issues. So let's test out the Face ID one more time just to see if that was just a like some kind of glitch. And it's still saying not recognized. So the Face ID, I got it. It did work that time. So let me show you. Okay, so I got it this time. So the Face ID, if you do register your face one more time, it will enhance the performance of the Face ID. But these are just my overall impressions after 24 hours. I definitely think this is a good device for the price, because you're getting it for just under, it's about $219, but the A13 is a better deal because it's a 189 right, or 169. So it's definitely a better deal. But let me know what you guys think down below. I'm going to get right back with you. I'm going to show up in the comment section, answer all your questions. I appreciate you for staying locked in with me. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure you I encourage you to subscribe and get notified if you found this information helpful in any way possible. But make sure you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and depending where you are, have a great night. Later, crew. Peace.